Well, good evening, everyone. It's only been about a week since our last race where we saw Tim Kourting take home victory. And here we are this week now at Nazareth for a 200-mile event tonight with the East Division of the USA Trucks. Starting on the front row, we've got the 10 of Jordan Walker alongside none other than Tim Kourting. Starting second row behind them, we've got Atley Wiese and Chadwick. Chadwick is going to be running the Beluga truck here tonight, hoping for a turn of luck, maybe to get that top 5 or even maybe a win coming his way. Then we've got the 87 of Justin Roman, the 13 of Aunt Me Person, the 20 of Gavin Gray, and the 77 of Bob Leader. Scott Speed and Andrew Moger, Dalton Hayes and Jeffrey Gerald, Andre Stefan and Bradley Ream, Jakov Rosovich and team owner Jack Ross, Colton Smith and Trevor Vaden now hopping into the ride this week for the number 2 team, hoping to give Honda a good run for this team. And you've got Kyle Ottawa and Craig Bush, Taden Berggren and John Brinker, Ryan Little and Jack Davis, Tasha Wright and Logan Nagy, Zach Armstrong and Santi Messi, David Bird and GP Luxembourg, Cannon Gage in the new paint scheme here, the number 8 Chevy for Cannon Gage Racing, alongside the 65 of Osiel Escobar. Then you've got James Reddick and Chris Hergeson, Maggie Reams and Leighton Aviard, Gannon Bird and James Robert, followed by Chris Mousy, Jessica Hergeson, Rose Reyna, and Nate Gonzalez. Nazareth is just shy of a mile in length of the track. It's .946. So 225 laps is the distance here to get to that 200-mile mark. We've really only seen a cup race here as of recent to really gauge off of what the track has to offer. First time that the USA Trucks will come here. And they're going to get the green flag right here as they get going at the front. Jordan Walker getting an early lead here, it looks like. Side by side with Tim Kourting. Nazareth is a very, very flat looking track. From the cameras you can see it's kind of hard to carry a lot of speed through the turns here because of the low banking. And you can see even it just seems like they kind of let up off the throttle when they hit the turns. That way they can make it through without sliding or pushing up the track, wearing out those tires. But of course, it's Tim Kourting to the lead so far. 3 wins on the season. It's been a great campaign for the defending champion. Coming in, defending his championship this year. First championship in the USA Trucks. And it seems like he found the secret formula to keep getting to victory lane as much as he has this year. Jordan Walker has kind of been a quiet assassin. That tin truck you wouldn't, expect to be amongst the top 5, but he's there every week it seems like. And you're going to have to start changing your perception on that team because I think he is a threat for the championship this year. Then, of course, you got Atley Wiese, who's been strong year in, year out. Currently our Sylvania Cup Series point leader. And even Chadwick behind, who's been one of the top 3 drivers every year, winning the regular season championship for 2022. and the regular season championship for the winter 2023 season of the USA Trucks. Still trying to get that monkey off his back here. That 18 team looking to have a good run here today at Nazareth. There was a few moves that could have been made, but last minute didn't happen. So Justin Roman's back in the seat here tonight in the 87 truck, getting another good opportunity to get a good finish for TRD and their USA Truck team here out alongside Atley Wiese, the team owner. And then you got Andrew Moger, who should have won. At least it seemed like he had a good truck to win a race a couple times out this last couple races. Running 6th here tonight so far. He might have another good shot at getting close to victory lane here tonight. Ant Meeperson, Bob Leader, Scott Speed, and Dalton Hayes round out your top 10. Yeah, last time we were out, we were on the dirt at Knoxville where we saw Tim Kourting put down a beating on the field. Pretty single file, solid gap between each truck at the front of the field here as Tim Kourting leads Jordan Walker, Atley Wiese, and Chaz Chadwick. Could very well be a follow the leader affair here tonight at Nazareth. Like mentioned before, we don't really have much for there is no previous experience at this track, so we don't exactly know how the race will play out. At least so far, the trucks are handling well and avoiding getting into wrecks, so definitely have some parity with Ford, pair of Toyotas, a Honda, and you got a Dodge within the top 10 as well. Chevy, let's see how far back the first Chevy in the field is. There you got a pair of Subarus, the Jack Ross and Jakov Rosevich, followed by the Chevy of Taden Bergeron. So at least one of each manufacturer within the top 20. Railfan Motorsports has had a solid start to the season here. Team owner Bradley Ream definitely getting the team moving in the right direction here. As you can see, he's running 13th right now. Teammate to him, Scott Speed, is running 9th. Worst on the field of the team would be that of Zach Armstrong, who's currently running 19th. But there's still plenty of racing and plenty of opportunities for Zach to move through the field here. As you can see, it looks like Jack Ross getting a little bit out of sorts there as the 20 truck gets alongside of him. This is going to help Zach Armstrong with an opportunity to make a pass. It looks like it's side by side with the 44. 44 of Ryan Little. And then Gavin Gray getting by Jack Ross here for position. As well as Zach Armstrong making a move, getting up to 18th. And keep your eyes peeled here on Trevor Vaden making his season debut for the number 2 Honda Ridgeline for Cartoon Network Racing. Not doing too bad in the top 20 right now. Truck previously driven by Riley Sorrell Tracy. The results were not coming in for Riley, and they had to cut ties with Sorrell Tracy on that team. And we had another driver waiting in the wings that wanted to get an opportunity at some full-time racing, and here we go. Trevor Vaden vacates the seat, and top 20 in his debut, at least for now, running in 20th. Andre Stefan had led the points for the first 5 races of the season, and finally he had lost the points lead to Jordan Walker, who's been more consistent in the top 5s and top 10s category. Andre Stefan is not finished outside of 11th yet this season, so it's crazy to think that Jordan Walker was even more consistent than Andre Stefan. Ooh, in the meantime, we missed that. A pass for position as Chadwick and Atley both got by Jordan Walker. So Walker drops back to 4th. Tim Kourting still leads the way. Quite demandingly, actually. A big gap from him to Atley in 2nd. Something must have happened to that tin truck to lose that much pace. Chadwick actually lost a bet to get to field this truck in the series. Him and Atley, along with Tim Kourting, had set up a side bet championship week where whoever lost would have to change their name to a cat name, and that even further went down the list that Chadwick would have to run a cat-inspired paint scheme, whoever was the 3rd in the overall standings at the end of the season. So as Tim Kourting won, Tim Kourting did not have to go by a cat alias. However, Atley Wiese went by Catley Whiskers, and Chaz Chadwick went by Claus Catwick. And with that, we've got the Beluga truck here tonight, featuring the famous YouTube sensation of Beluga on the hood of his truck. And he figured tonight was the night of all nights to roll it out in hopes that maybe it would change his luck around. Losing a bet that went against the championship finishing order last year, he had to run this truck at least once this season, and who knows, if he gets a good run out of it, he might be running it more. What we've noticed from Chadwick, though, he has usually been off to a good start week in, week out, but the wheels start to fall off throughout the race the further the race goes along. So still very early in the race here, about 200 laps to go. And 3rd right now, not too bad. Tim Kourting is totally slapping these laps down out front, leading and not turning the fastest laps yet. He's actually about a 10th off from the fastest lap, which was set by Jordan Walker. But before you know it, he's going to start catching lap traffic here at Nazareth Speedway. And that'll help the guys in 2nd on back kind of close the gap once he starts having to make maneuvers through lap traffic. Seems like every week as of late, we've seen this situation play out many times where the leader starts to lap the field. It's become kind of commonplace with these tracks that we've been going to lately. And it's all part of the strategy. Every little bit makes a difference as to who's going to pull out the victory here. Last couple weeks we saw it that Tim Kourting was able to masterfully work his way through traffic. And even cases like Atley was able to do so too. But if we had to give a grade on it, I think Tim Kourting by far has the most skilled expertise maneuvering his way through lap traffic, it seems like. This gets to be like playing in the hornet's nest here, as you can see. These passes on lap traffic are never a guaranteed safe move, as a lot of them get kind of out of control around you. Right there, almost 3 wide for Atley. That could spell trouble if he's not a little bit more careful. And then we got Chadwick right there too, that this could get interesting. He kind of gets shuffled high, and Jordan Walker making the move on the inside. Chadwick running strong on the outside though. It looks side by side. Lap traffic's going to be a problem for him though. I don't think he's going to be able to stay up high for too much longer here. There you go, Jordan Walker. Two birds with one stone as he gets by both the lap traffic there. So now it's Atley up to second, Walker up to third, and Tim Kourting is not getting too far away from them, not yet at least. Atley makes another pass on lap traffic here. So really at this point, it's about a 4-truck fight towards the front of the field. A little further back, the 87 of Justin Roman, the 13 of Ant Meeperson, and the 74 of Andrew Moger, all fighting for 6th place right here. 77 of Bob Leader and the 41 of Scott Speed also in a fight for that position. Lap traffic in front of them right there, the 04 is a lap down truck. Moger now up to 6th. He's going to hope that he can get by this lap traffic pretty quickly so he can start hunting down the 5th place driver. Oh, and what happened? 5th place. Who was? Oh, it was Justin Roman who was in 5th place. So it's actually Moger now up to 5th. And he's going to have his sights set on the 4th place driver of Chadwick. Chadwick still has Jordan Walker within his sights to make a pass here. Good run there by the 18 truck. Looks like he's closing that gap. They've caught up to the back of the lapped trucks, the 54 of Mozzie and the 5 of Messi. And there goes Chadwick. Well, he's fixing to make it 3 wide. He's still going to try to make it 3 wide here in the middle of the turn. Jordan Walker realizes what's going on and he lets off the throttle a little bit. There's no need to get in a wreck this early in the race. Chadwick back up to 3rd. And Atley is really caught up now. He's right there on the back bumper of Tim Kourting. This seems like this is going to be our marquee matchup week in and week out, as the two of these just duking it out back and forth. Kind of crazy to think about it, but our USA Trucks is kind of, on the east side at least, started to turn into a little bit like an F1 series where there's really only about 2 drivers with a shot at winning the race every week. It goes to show you how much time and effort that the likes of Tim Kourting and Atley Wiese have put into their teams to get to this position. It wasn't like they just walked into it. It's all been hard work and dedication to get to this point. And I feel like this could be a very huge championship battle all the way to the finish. That's why you run the championship, why you run the races, because it's not like you're just going to roll the dice and there's your winner. Every moving piece has to come together before you can actually crown that champion. Lap traffic's kind of subsided here a little bit at the meantime. They're looking down the barrel of the 33rd place truck of Rose Reina. Then you've got Gannon Bird, Maggie Reams, Craig Bush, who's running 30th. Osiel Escobar up to 29th right now, getting ever so closer to the midfield on track. Cannon Gage, John Brinker, Tasha Wright, Jack Davis, James Reddick, David Bird, Colton Smith, Kyle Ottawa, Trevor Vaden, Ryan Little, Jack Ross, Gavin Gray, Taden Berggren, Zach Armstrong now up to 15th. Jakov Rosevich in 14th. Going to keep the camera here for a minute to see what happens. Don't know if Zach's actually going to catch up to that 0 truck, but it was looking interesting. You can see he's closing that gap on the 0 truck. He's catching him. Looks like he's going to have a run here on the backstretch, getting alongside the 0 truck now. And Zach Armstrong wants to pick up another spot on track here. So Railfan Motorsports has got these trucks running a lot better than where they would have been last year. I think the downfall of failure for Bradley Ream missing after the first round of the playoffs, they went back to the drawing board and made sure to get these trucks in tip-top shape for this season, and it's showing. So Zach Armstrong now up to 14th here, and he's got quite a ways, it looks like, to catch up to the 13th place driver of Dalton Hayes. And then the boss man, Bradley Ream, in 12th. Jeffrey Gerald, who himself has also been somewhat of a silent assassin, getting top 10s, avoiding DNFs. He's going to be somewhat of a threat when it comes down to who's going to point their way in. 10th place, Scott Speed. 9th place, Andre Stefan. Bob Leader in 8th. Ant Me Person in 7th. Justin Roman back up to 6th. And Andrew Moger in the top 5. So far, Tim Kourting has led every lap to the start of the race here, all 47 laps under his belt. Atley's definitely making things look interesting here as he was catching up to the back bumper of that 50 truck and is now somewhat lost a little bit of pace here on the long run. Perhaps he was able to catch him last time due to the lap traffic holding up that 50 truck. Yeah, one of the things impressive with the East-West Division Championship the way it is, we're already on race 7 of 11 for the regular season championship. That means after tonight, we will only have 4 more races to crown the regular season champion and set the field for the W West-East combined championship at the end of the season, where we will go abroad for most of the races to hit different continents, different countries, as what we would be doing more so of an international championship with the combined East and West champions. Top 10 out of the each division. So East, you got 10, the top 10, either the top 10 winners if we get there, or whoever points their way in if we've got a lot of duplicate winners. Like here in the East Coast, we only have 3 different winners. That means we're going to have 7 drivers point their way in to the W chase at the end of the season. However, on the West Coast, we've got 6 different winners in 6 races. And tomorrow night, we'll have to tune in and see if that number continues to grow, or perhaps we'll get a repeat winner. So 6 different winners in 6 races. It's very possible that we could have 11 different winners in 11 different races. And if that occasion actually did happen, we would have 1 driver with a win that would not be eligible for the chase. So definitely only 10 drivers can qualify from the East or the West. Tim Kourting still getting by more and more lap traffic here as 28th is about to go a lap down. Making quick work there of Cannon Gage. He gets up past the 8 truck. 27 trucks remaining on the lead lap. You do got to figure that eventually these drivers are all going to have to come down pit road either on green flag pit stops, or perhaps if we do happen to get a caution here. And that could shake up the running order a little bit. $169 laps remain here in the race. And kind of setting a fast pace here as we have gone 55 laps now without a caution. Still no retirements in the race, no mechanical failures from anyone. All 42 trucks still running, albeit quite a few of them a lap down already. With the way things are going right now, I think we'll have to start looking towards more drivers who are trying to fight for points here. Especially, let's go back to Zach Armstrong, who is 8 points out of the qualifying position to get into the W chase. With his run here so far today of 14th, he sits 12th in the points, and he would have to beat John Brinker by at least a few spots to gain 8 points. If we look through the field, I think Brinker is having a rough go of it here today. There you go, 26th, John Brinker. So Zach Armstrong would actually move up into a chase qualifying position in the points based on how they're running right now. Dalton Hayes as well sits 13th, and he's having one of his best runs of the season, all the way up into the top 15, running 13th. And with positions here he can gain, that's for position as we cut to the camera on the 55. Getting by the 16 will put him up to 12th. He's 25 points out of a transfer position in the chase. So every point's going to count here tonight. And that's all you can ask for. Then, for example, you've got the likes of Chaz Chadwick, who's had the roughest start of any of his seasons in the USA Trucks. Currently running third right now. Even though he's running third, he's 53 points out, which is exactly one full race worth of points. If you were to win and beat someone who finished dead last, you can get about 53 points on the field. Chadwick's going to have more runs like this right here to try and get his way up into a points position to qualify for that chase, or simply just find the way to victory lane and not have to worry about those points. More and more trucks falling a lap down here. Atley working his way through the traffic. Still quite a ways to catch up to the 50 of Tim Kourting. As you can see, Kourting making it look easy again here. His expertise on navigating through traffic is unmatched so far this season. Up to the 20th place driver, looking to put Jack Davis, who's in 20th, one lap down. And there you have it. 19 trucks are going to be left on the lead lap here. Next truck on field in front is Jack Ross, last truck on the lead lap. Did not exactly foresee this big of a dominant run from Tim Kourting yet again. You would think after as many strong runs as he's had that the wheels would kind of fall off, but it only seems to strengthen his run every week, where he just gets stronger and stronger and harder to beat. I actually like that idea. If we do, when we go to the combined chase format, and if we go to a track that is someone's home track, whether it be a continent or country or something that they designate as their home country, we will have an exclusive all-star seat available for that driver so that they can race at their home track, home state, home country, whatever it might be. Definitely. Nope, I like that idea. Might have to post on the server so I don't forget, but that's going to be something noteworthy to look forward to. For example, Escobar would have his sponsorship follow him, but he might have to hop into an all-star seat, a lot like the 77 truck, or I guess the 65 is a Toyota, correct? Yeah, so you would hop into a Toyota All-Star seat, which would be most likely the 80s, pardon me, the 87 truck for TRD with team owner Atley Wiese. So that would be a good seat to be in at any given track. Now we're down to only 16 trucks on the lead lap. Getting kind of lopsided right now as Tim Kourting is starting to look unbeatable. Jakov Rosevich will be the last truck on the lead lap for now, in 16th place, but with Tim Kourting right on his tail now, Tim Kourting is going to put him a lap down as well, leaving only 15 trucks on the lead lap once he pulls this off. We did see a couple of lap trucks get a little bit out of sorts behind Tim Kourting a little bit earlier in the past lap or two. So it's not impossible that we could get a caution here soon. Some of these trucks, the tires are wearing off and starting to lose control of them. Still a lot of racing to go, and a caution would be huge to get this race kind of reset and give us an opportunity for a couple action-packed restarts, hopefully. Chadwick loses another spot back to 4th again as Jordan Walker gets up to 3rd. A whole bunch of lap trucks there all in one line. Jordan Walker is going to have to pick them off slowly here. And who knows, perhaps our caution might come out with some of these lead trucks getting a little bit restless riding behind the lap traffic. And we could see some bumping and passing to get the job done that could result in a caution. Chadwick giving him all that he's got there behind the tin truck. Going back down onto the backstretch here. Chadwick and Jordan Walker. Atley is caught up to Jack Ross here, who's 18th, 1 lap down. And you've got 17th, Taden Berggren, 16th place, Jakov Rosevich, 15th place, Gavin Gray, and then your leader, Tim Kourting, who put yet again another truck 1 lap down. One statement Pierce might start to formulate here is maybe implementing a graduation rule for the series so that people that win championships in the trucks have to graduate up to Busch or Cup. It is possible, that's something that could factor in if we start having a lot of, kind of the same thing week in, week out with the same guy winning every week. I wouldn't want to implement it because I really like having the best of the best in the series. And the trucks is kind of it's kind of got the extension of talent towards the Cup Series more so than an underclass to the Cup Series. So this really is a very talented field. And if we were to have someone that came along that could fill those shoes, that we would have, another story come about the size of a Tim Kourting here or an Atley Wiese. It would be cool if, they got taken under the wings of such drivers and continued to perform, the same manner that the championship caliber team owners were able to perform. We know for a fact that Tim Kourting has his sights set on kill in this series. After failing to win the championship the first season, and what seemed like a championship that he could have secured, I think what we're witnessing here in these last couple weeks is that all the pieces have come together, and it's kind of a scary sight to behold, because once he's got everything running like a well-oiled machine, he's kind of unbeatable. But of course, this would be the best way. I feel like every champion should have an opportunity to defend their championship. If not once, maybe even twice, And that's how so-and-so's, the big names of NASCAR were able to pull off back-to-back championships and stuff, and it hasn't really been done since Jimmy Johnson all the way back in 2010. But that's an impressive feat that, those are the storylines that people, some people might not want to be signed up for, but a lot of people do happen to sign up for, storylines like that. And I think this will go down in history books as, You know, a season that you're not going to want to forget, even if it's a dominant season by a driver. It's still very historical and very, meaningful. Crazy part is, the chase and all that, we could reset the points, and Tim Kourting, once he joins the combined championship between the East and the West, we might have a West Division driver hiding that no one saw coming. Pounce at the occasion and totally steal the show. One of those drivers that come to mind definitely would be Trevor Walker, who is the definitive veteran on the West Coast, as we've got the trio of veterans on the East Coast here between Chadwick, Wiese, and Kourting. I think Trevor Walker is going to make it interesting once we go to the W chase at the end of the year. Even Tim's brother Tom Kourting could make things interesting. And the true dark horse, I would say, would be John Hagan, who's kind of come out swinging right out of the gates in his first season of action, getting a win within his first 5 races. It's going to be, well, and especially getting the first win for Chevy, which is monumental here in the USA Trucks, as 2 seasons of racing went by. A big goose egg in the win column for Chevy. And for someone like John Hagan to just show up out of nowhere and get that first win for Chevy, that's a very big deal. So Hagan's obviously got, more than what the power of the truck can give him. He's got that driving skill and the ability to turn, maybe an underperforming truck around into a victory winning truck. So not quite at halfway. We're getting close, as we're 134 laps to go now. 134 laps remain after 91 laps have been completed. All 91 laps have been led by Tim Kourting, and here we go, pit stops on lap 91. If we do our math, that should put us at lap 182 for the final round of pit stops, which will be roughly about a 35 lap basically dash to the finish after they make their last round of pit stops. That's factoring in if we don't have a caution up to that point. So 91 laps, they can go about 90 to 95 laps here at Nazareth. That's something I'm going to have to maybe do a little bit more research on next season, is actually figuring out that fuel window so I can give the broadcast a better idea of when those pit stops are going to come. Really all it would take would be to get a notebook and write each and every track, basically sim that track to the first round of pit stops and figuring that out. Ooh, and there we go. We have a caution during green flag pit stops. So I wonder if it was Andre Stefan here. We saw some smoke and a slowed. Oh, Stefan was trying to come to pit road, and Chadwick was already there. So just a miscalculation by the 56 truck. The crazy part is this could give Chadwick Oh, he'd already pitted, so he'll get trapped a lap down. We're going to have to do some wave arounds to get things back in order here, as Jordan Walker is going to be your new leader. We'll have to wait a lap. Yeah, because this is going to throw things all out of sorts. The 20. Okay, so we'll wave around the 18. Wave the 13. So it looks like it'll shuffle back around to Tim Kourting as the leader. Give the wave around to the 4. My dyslexia won on that one. I typed 26 instead of 62. So yeah, Atley back to second. Jack Ross wave around. And then I think we're going to be solid with all the drivers that are going to get sent back to the back. So the way that caution fell, our front running order has changed up a little bit here, as the trucks are trying to get resorted here. All of our lap traffic falls back to the back. So it is Tim Kourting and Atley Wiese running 1-2. Then Justin Roman in third, Scott Speed in fourth, Jordan Walker fifth, Dalton Hayes sixth, Bradley Ream seventh, Bob Leader eighth, Jeffrey Gerald ninth, and Gavin Gray 10th. Gonna get back going green here. It looks like 15 trucks on the front lead pack, and then the wave round allowed for all the way back to 23rd on the lead lap. So that caution actually didn't fall too badly, as everyone had already made their pit stops. Didn't change our lead 2 at all. The only thing that changed now is Atley in the lead, Tim Kourting back to second. Atley gets credited with leading that lap, so Tim Kourting has not led every lap here tonight. Atley gets lead lap number 2 here. And would you look at that? Scott Speed up to third. That's an impressive surprise, running in third right there. The 41 truck for Railfan Motorsports. As you've got Toyota, Ford, Dodge running 1, 2, 3. Last week for the West Coast, one of the huge surprises was getting to see Matthew Fastnot drive it home to victory lane. That was probably one of the greatest finishes this season has seen and may ever see for the rest of the year. Matthew Fastnot had desire to win that race even more than the rest of the field, and he had to beat some very hard to beat drivers to get that win. His brother, Tim Kourting's brother Tom, was actually dominating that race, and lap traffic was able to give Matthew Fastnot a shot at stealing the win away, and stealing that win he did. Matthew Fastnot gets his second career win and a lock to the W Chase. And that kind of segues into what I was trying to lead to here, is possibly Scott Speed could be a Matthew Fastnot here tonight if he's able to surprise the field, shock the field, find a way to get to victory lane here. Relatively new to the series, he didn't start every race and is really deep in the points. Currently 25th in the points because he has not gotten to start every single race. He has had the fastest transition of climbing through the field though, because since starting he's been pretty much lights out, top 10, top 15. Hard to beat some consecutive, consistent finishes like that. Wow, 3 wide with Chadwick on the outside there, fighting with lap traffic. Chadwick in 26th right now, trapped a lap down. It's astounding how much bad luck this 18 team has had, and still just trying and trying their hardest to find their way out of this bad luck bubble that they're in. Still a lot of racing here tonight, and there's no telling if he can get back on the lead lap. He's got the pace, he's got the speed, he could get back on the lead lap, and he could be fighting for a top 15, top 5 finish. But if it continues to go the way it's going right now and he finishes 25th, 20th or so, it's going to be another hit in the points for him that he did not need. Truck right in front of him for 23rd is the first truck 1 lap down. So if we were to get a caution, he would get the wave around in place of that 8 truck, as long as he gets by the 8 truck. And Chadwick kind of making it look easy here, as his truck is definitely faster than these lap trucks. There we go on the backstretch. He tried to peek out, but decided to hold off for another lap here. Giving that 8 a good draft, catching up to the back of the 43. There we go. Chadwick getting alongside the 8 of Cannon Gage here. And now Chadwick, his main goal or main dream here would be to get a caution and get that lap back. Take a temporary pause here to save the replay. Stand by. Not wasting any time as he's able to get by even the 43 truck of Taden Berggren. Definitely with a fast truck here tonight, just unfortunately getting trapped that 1 lap down. In the meantime, we still have Tim Kourting out front leading over Atley Wiese. Wiese had a brief stint leading, led about 3 laps before losing it back to Tim Kourting. Justin Roman in third now after getting by Scott Speed, putting him back to fourth. Jordan Walker in fifth, Bob Leader sixth, Dalton Hayes seventh, Jeffrey Gerald, who's continuing to consistently run top 10 here week in, week out. Good run here from the 16 LFG Motorsports. If Chadwick's struggling, it seems like at least his teammate continues to put together, string some good finishes along. Bradley Ream in 9th. And Trevor Vaden all the way up to 10th here. That's a huge boost from that caution, I believe. The caution was allowed for Trevor Vaden. Had been able to stay on the lead lap, evidently, and also work his way through some of the traffic here. Top 10 run for that number 2 truck. Andre Stefan still recovering from getting spun out by Chadwick, up to 12th so far. Jack Davis, Andrew Moger, and Zach Armstrong round out your top 15. Lap traffic has become a little bit less abundant here. Due to that caution, it reset the field in running order to those lap trucks. So still playing catch up here to the lap traffic. Tim Kourting not quite there yet. Still have all trucks left running on track, no retirements here in the first 115 laps run. But the one thing that caution did prove, I think there is a chance for Atley to find a way to pull this off here tonight. Atley proved that he could stay out front and lead for even just a brief moment. If these guys get tangled back up within the lap traffic, Atley could find his way around for the lead and potentially steal the show here. Amazingly, the fastest lap still belongs to Jordan Walker, who's kind of mired back in 5th right now. If these trucks do get kind of held up by lap traffic, we could see Jordan Walker possibly close the gap to the lead. Wow, Chadwick still kind of checking out from the lap traffic as he's now caught up to 16th place Gavin Gray. 23rd, 1 lap down. He really needs a caution to come his way here to get that lap back. But otherwise, a 23rd mid-pack finish could be a lot worse. What would be crazy is if Chadwick actually was able to run back around the entire field to get his lap back on his own. Running a 29.381, if we compare that to what times the leader's running right now. Yeah, it's going to be hard, especially since Tim Kourting's running a 29.29. So they're running consistent to the same as the leader. We'll check this lap just to see what lap traffic does. 50 truck of Tim Kourting was a 29.555 that time by. Compare that up with the 18 of Chaz Chadwick. Turns a 29.283. So with the lap traffic, Chadwick could try to close the gaps in front of him. Still going to have to at least have a caution to come his way to get things kind of resorted for him. Glad you could make it, Chaz, into the stream. What you missed so far was Chadwick was up to third, sitting in the top 5 for the first stint of the race, and Chadwick actually ended up bringing out the first caution during green flag pit stops, where Andre Stefan tried to cut down to make a pit stop, and Chadwick was right there, bumped the back end of the truck, spinning Andre Stefan out. This ended up trapping Chadwick 1 lap down currently as they run. So the 18 team is currently hoping for a caution to get back on the lead lap. So Tim Kourting still out front dominating. Lap traffic's kind of slowing him up here. Turns a 30.0 that lap, allowing for the 29.335 of Atley Wiese to really close up on him. Tim Kourting really struggling here with the 2 trucks in front of him. The 2 Chevys slowing him way up. Run another 30.0. Still compare that up to Atley Wiese, who's running 0.6 faster with a 29.3. Tim Kourting gets alongside the 92 of Kyle Ottawa. Atley Wiese is going to make quick work of Kyle Ottawa with the help of Santi Messi here, getting a little bit of a draft with the 5 truck. Atley has to go around the outside of the 5 truck here. Chaz Chadwick really is trying to close that gap as he's caught up to 15th place Zach Armstrong. And 15th place Zach Armstrong is only 12 seconds out of the lead. So 12 seconds could be a gap that Chadwick's able to close here, as it seems like he's running a lot faster than the trucks that are even on the lead lap. Railfan Motorsports running 14th. 9th. And even 5th place with Scott Speed. So top 5, top 10, and top 15 in the order for Railfan Motorsports. Jordan Walker is sitting in third right now. Atley still running second. Tim Kourting still making moves to get by lap traffic, putting more trucks behind him laps down. Osiel Escobar running 29th right now. One lap down. It's going to be 2 laps here if he gets caught by the 50 of Tim Kourting. Seems that Chadwick is kind of plateaued on his progress through the field here. Getting stuck behind Zach Armstrong. Armstrong holding a steady wheel there in front of him. And this will be a pass, not for position, but puts Chadwick even closer to try and getting his lap back here tonight, as he still has roughly about 14 seconds of gap to close on the leader. Points battle is definitely going to get interesting here, as like mentioned, Dalton Hayes on the outside looking in. Having a solid top 10 run here tonight is going to help him by gaining a lot of points to get into that top 10 to qualify for the chase here in just about 4 weeks. As well as Scott Speed, who's a late entry on the series. Another top 5 here tonight is going to help him tremendously close the gap on getting into that top 10. Then, of course, we've got our all-star entries, the likes of the 87 truck here, that are not eligible for the chase. We will have some special deals going, though, like certain tracks. These trucks will get a free pass with exclusive drivers if they happen to be their hometown, home country, home track, or whatever. So our all-star entries will be locked in to the W chase, but on a strictly rotational driver seat. Wow, Tim Kourting is continuing to just blow by lap traffic here. Even David Bird in 20th, the last truck on the lead lap right now. David Bird's trying to hold on and stay on the lead lap, but it's not going to last for long, as Tim Kourting's right there on his back bumper. We're down to 83 laps to go. At least one more round of pit stops are going to play out here. We know that the drivers can go 91 to 95 laps on their pit strategy. When that caution came out on lap 95, there's a lot of trucks that probably went down pit road or even saved their fuel. So we probably won't see the final pit stops until around 192. Which will put us at about just around 30 laps to go, maybe 25 laps to go. Yo, popcorn is the shit, man. If I wasn't talking in a mic, I would be eating popcorn right now while streaming, but then you would have to deal with the munch noises, and that's something we don't want. So it's hard to decide what kind of popcorn is the best, though, because, you know, it's nice to have some fresh air popped popcorn once in a while. Sometimes the microwave popcorn's just a little bit too greasy, and you can just feel that when you eat it, and it's like just kind of a thick greasy. But at the same time, it still tastes really good. So I mean, you kind of just, you know, deal with the greasy part, I guess. Tons of butter and quite a bit of salt too, even though my arteries someday will probably disagree with that. Yeah, I think a lot of your like NBC and Fox broadcasts, they have a kill switch kind of like I do. I've got a switch on my mic where if I pressed it right now, you wouldn't be able to hear me talk like this. You can hear me. There you go. But Yeah, I'm so grateful for this little button on my headset so that I can actually mute it, grab a bite to eat real quick, and then reset it and back in the racing action. Like tonight, for example, is going to be one of those nights where I'm munching on the candy, the chips, the popcorn, the food, whatever it might be, a little bit more because there's not a lot to call on track, as you can see. You can only say that Tim Kourting's leading so many times before it gets redundant and, people start to tune out. So the gap has now grown to 6 seconds. Tim Kourting leading over Atley Wiese. If this closes out the way it's going, Tim Kourting is going to pad his playoff points bonus pretty steady. It's going to be a big gap once they start the W chase later this season. Gap started to shrink a little bit there as Atley now closed it up to 5.42. But ultimately what we're looking for here is going to be seeing how far these folks can make it before they have to come down pit road again. Man, that's crazy. We had a little bit of a change in the top 15. Trevor Vaden still running 15th currently. Jeffrey Gerald falls back to 14th. Jack Davis up to 13th. Andre Stefan sitting solid in 12th. Dalton Hayes in 11th. And now you've got Zach Armstrong cruising his way up into the top 10. Impressive on number 4 truck there, getting back into the top 10 here. Andrew Moger has slowly declined into 9th. Chadwick on the back bumper of the 40 truck of Bradley Ream. This is to get, ground made up on getting his lap back. Bradley Ream running 8th, Chadwick running 23rd, 1 lap down. But Chadwick's going to have an opportunity here. If you look ahead, 22nd place is now 1 lap down. Quite a ways up there, though. He's going to be looking down, trying to catch up to the 96 of David Bird to get a position. And then 21st belonging to Jack Ross, possibly getting a position there. James Reddick in 20th. '19th, Jakov Rosevich. 18th, Taden Berggren. And 17th, Ryan Little, all of which are a lap down. Chadwick is now in trouble of getting that wave around that we were talking about, because he was the last truck on the lead lap, or the first track 1 lap down. However, now he's about 5 trucks back. The gap is staying relatively steady, as Atley's still 5.5 seconds back. Well, the gap has continued to get worse and worse as now Atley sits 8 seconds back of the lead from Tim Kourting. Tim Kourting had mostly clear track ahead of him there up until he caught the 5 in the 06 truck. But even with them, it looks like he's going to get by pretty quickly here and continue to spread that gap wider and wider. Must be some drivers making pit stops already. A little bit early, but not too early to make to the finish here, as some of the drivers are short pitting to get themselves that much closer to making it to the finish here. Yeah, Chadwick had made his pit stop. We'll see how the green flag pit stops here affect the running order, as it looks like just about everyone's making their pit stops here within these last 2 laps. A whole fleet of trucks coming off this time by. '87 of Justin Roman continuing to stay out here. If he were to get a caution, he would trap a lot of heavy hitters a lap down. Him, Jordan Walker, Bob Leader, Bradley Ream, and Andre Stefan still out there running in the top 5. And there you go. There's the caution that's going to give him some very, very extreme track position here. The 2 of Trevor Vaden coming off pit road. The same thing that happened earlier tonight. Driver trying to come down pit road, hooks into the 2 truck, just like Chaz Chadwick and the 56 of Andre Stefan. So we're going to be busy on that wave around patrol yet again, as there's only 2 trucks on the lead lap after our round of green flag pit stops there. And the crazy part, out of all the shenanigans and craziness, it's going to be Tim Kourting that gets that lead back yet again. And we'll even give the wave around a little bit further back on the 44. Give the lead back to Chadwick as well. The 62. Okay, here we go. It'll be the last of our wave arounds right there. Here we go. The 18, 62, the 00, all of these guys waving back to the front. Oh, I don't know why that didn't work. There we go. That's more like it. Now the game gets it all figured out. We're going to have to waive the caution here, though. I'm not going to do it while the pace truck's pulling down because that's only going to cause more problem. Wave a quick caution. What the heck, man? Okay, so I know y'all just saw that, and I was trying to get the running order all reset, rescheduled. It was all scrambled to high hell. And so I'm going to have to go through and do it too to actually sort the field in order. For some reason, the 18 of Chaz Chadwick is going to inherit the lead here after all of that went down. So I'm going to have to hand out into the longest line. No, actually, we'll just let it roll with what we've got. Because for whatever reason, no matter what I do, it just won't let these guys get back to the front. That ain't right. Into the longest line for the 18. Oh, yeah, so I kind of messed this up, but we'll just let them roll with what we've got, because it's gonna put quite honestly, do not know how this all fared the way it did. Totally just turned this race upside down here. To make it fair, we're going to wait till the pace truck pulls down, stops, and then we're going to re-wave the yellow. And now we will, as the 18 comes down pit road to serve its penalty. Oh, well, the number 2 truck got disqualified somehow. This season has truly been wacky, for certain. So I'm trying to figure out what the trucks are doing here, so I can figure out what needs to be adjusted. I think the 19th place driver needs a wave round, so the 55 needs a wave round. wave number 55, wave number 16, wave number 87, wave number 41, and that gets our trucks on the tail end of the lead lap back around the pace truck onto the lead lap. Oh, this looks so much better. 9th, 8th, 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th. So, Chaz Chadwick has worked his way up to 4th on this, what likely will be the final restart of the race. Now the lap traffic's going to drop to the back here like they should. The problem is the lap traffic gets tight at the front here, so it's hard. I might have to add a pace lap. I hope I don't. Pace lap plus. Oh, I can't add a pace lap. Well, lap traffic's going to kind of separate 7th on back as they get caught back up to the back of the field here. They're going to have full speed momentum coming up here. As you can see, the green flag waves, and there we go. 25 laps to go here at Nazareth. And it's a different front of the field now, as you can see. Zach Armstrong leads the way over Andre Stefan, Chaz Chadwick, Gavin Gray, Ryan Little, and then a whole bunch of lap trucks that are closing the gap here. In this pack, you're going to see some hungry hitters such as Atley Wiese, Bradley Ream, David Bird in 8th, and we're under caution yet again here. And so what we will do to fix this, unfortunately for all the trucks that are trapped laps down, we are going to go through and DQ them for the night, starting from the back of the... That way we can have a clean race to the finish here. Figured this is really the only fair way to do this because the lap traffic does not know how to navigate around each other. Once the lap trucks need to sort themselves out, they're not going to get much more spots trying to attempt these restarts. So simply disqualify the whole field that are trapped laps down. Or, for the fact that I should be able to wave around at least, wave number 00, wave number 11. This will be treating it like it's a wave around. Number 30, wave number 84, wave number 33, wave number 34, wave number 92, wave number 83, wave number 5, and wave number 65. That way I'm not totally disqualifying everyone. It was DQ'd back to 31st. And then everyone that was lapped down gets a wave around here. So, in order, if it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I will disqualify anyone in between the lead drivers here. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Works like a charm. So, let's go ahead and shorten the pace lap by 1. Oh, I didn't have to. Never mind. Lights are off on the pace truck. Good thing I didn't do that. Didn't want to glitch out the game. So, 21 trucks are on the lead lap here. Sitting in the top 5, you've got Zach Armstrong, Andre Stefan, Gavin Gray, Ryan Little, James Reddick. Then you got Jack Davis, Atley Wiese, Bradley Ream, David Bird, and Bob Leader. Jakov Rosovich, Jordan Walker, Ant Meeperson, Taden Bergeron, Chaz Chadwick, Jeffrey Gerald, Dalton Hayes, Justin Roman, Scott Speed, Andrew Moger, and Tim Kourting in 21st. Here's hopefully the last restart of the night with only 20 laps to go. We've got a 20-lap shootout here with a true wild card on the line as our dominant driver, Tim Kourting, kind of gets shuffled out of the mix here. Zach Armstrong on the inside there on Andre Stefan. Stefan's already got a win this season, so looking to add to that win tally, get more bonus points for the chase. Zach Armstrong has not won yet in USA Trucks. He's been at it for 2 years now, and with some equipment that's actually giving him a shot, he's looking really good here tonight. We'll chalk this last segment of the race up to one of those NR 2003 moments that's unexplainable. Tried my best to give us the best product, and it still kind of got a little wonky there. But we still have a stellar finish on deck for us. Oh, and we had a bunch of people come down pit road, possibly serving a penalty there at the end. 19th. Oh, and Tim Kourting on pit road. Chadwick on pit road. Not quite sure the reasoning for that, but a lot of drivers making their stop on pit road, putting them a lap down. Tim Kourting seems stuck on pit road right now. Chadwick as well. So in the meanwhile, Zach Armstrong leads the way, defending the spot against Andre Stefan. These drivers still stay in their same respective positions for the most part, because now they're only one lap down. Chadwick kind of falls back to where he was running prior to the shenanigans, so seems that maybe the race officials kind of stepped in there and adjusted some things, but at the end of the day, it's going to stink a little bit for some of these drivers, especially the likes of Tim Kourting, who had dominated this race and now trapped 21st, one lap down. Andre Stefan in second there. Zach Armstrong leading the way. Run a 29.659 that lap. Kind of the unexpected outcome here. We did not see Zach Armstrong working his way up to the front like this. Race officials were frantic during that last round of cautions to try and get the field all sorted, and it seemed like some drivers misaligned themselves, giving them positions that they had not earned on the racetrack. As we've only got 13 laps to go here, Zach Armstrong holding steady with that lead. Tim Kourting 1 lap down in 21st. Correction, actually, he's 2 laps down in 21st. So the nice part is Tim Kourting's got those wins to secure him a spot in the chase. Tonight, not looking good for securing points to win the overall championship and getting those bonus points that come with winning the overall. Especially when our current points leader is Jordan Walker. Tim Kourting with his 3 wins is going to come pretty close to matching whoever gets the overall regular season championship in total of playoff chase points. Andre Stefan's only hope at this point is for lap traffic or even Zach Armstrong to make a mistake here. Armstrong doing really good, holding that lead position. Andre Stefan still lurking in the background there, not out of the picture. We do have lap traffic starting to kind of swarm around that Ford truck. As you can see, Tim Kourting trying to close up the gap. Here he is getting alongside the Ford. This could make it interesting here as we only have about 7 laps to go. This is going to slow Zach Armstrong's pace up significantly. You got to wonder that 41 truck is a teammate if he'll even try to mess around. Yeah, you can see the 41's given quite a gap there. He didn't want to get in alongside the Ford truck. He's trying to leave an opening there for his teammate, but his teammate, oh, he bobbles there. 41 had no other choice but to go along inside. Here we are running 1-2. Andre Stefan alongside the Ford truck. Zach Armstrong holds the lead for now with 4 laps to go. Bobbles a little bit more and still struggling. The Ford truck falls to 2nd place here is Andre Stefan, who has already won this season. Might potentially find his way to win number 2. And will only continue to make this East Coast very crazy when it comes to win and you're in for the chase. Stefan getting roughed up here by the 74 of Moger. 3 laps to go now. This ain't good because that's going to slow up Stefan's pace. Yeah, there you go. Now it's the 10 of Jordan Walker. This is kind of a back and forth affair. But don't look now. The 19 of Atley Wiese sneaking into the picture. Still 2 laps to go. This is anyone's game as the top 5 are all separated by a blanket. The 10 settles into the lead here for the moment, as they will have 2 laps to go this time by. This track seemingly long for a short track. As you can tell, these guys have still quite a distance to close the gap here. Current points leader Jordan Walker, though, has not won yet this season, and it'd be really fitting if he could get the job done here tonight. The white flag's going to wave this time by. Jordan Walker leading the way. Andre Stefan in second. Bob Leader in third. Atley Wiese in fourth. And put Ant Me-Person up to fifth here in the closing lap. It's really only Stefan who's got a shot here. Jordan Walker not putting too much risk in the turns. He's going to come cruising through turn 4 and collect the first checkered flag of the 2023 East-West Championship season. Armstrong falls back to 6th there after leading right up to the closing laps. Nothing to be ashamed of with that finish. Bossman comes home 7th. Gavin Gray 8th. James Reddick with the top 10 coming home 9th. Jack Davis 10th. Jakov Rosevich 11th. David Bird and Jack Ross 12th and 13th. And so now we have 4 different winners here on the East Coast, thanks to Jordan Walker pulling off the victory here tonight. Jordan Walker coming home with the win. Andre Stefan with the second. And the rest of the order, as you can see right there, coming home all the way back to 20th, 20 trucks on the lead lap. We ended up getting everything sorted there at the end so that we could actually have a good finish. And with that, we're down to 4 races left on the East calendar. Then we'll know for sure who's locked into the Dubby Chase for the first time, the inaugural Dubby Chase here in the USA Trucks. And Jordan Walker is going to walk out of here with an even bigger points lead, being the number 1 overall seeded in the point standings. Even though only 1 win, he will win bonus points upon winning the regular season that'll follow him into the chase. And that makes up for tonight's race for the East Coast. We'll be back at it again tomorrow for the West Coast. and desperately hoping for another new winner on the West Coast. We could see 7 different winners in 7 races if all things go right. West Coast, they are going to hit Ontario, so it'll be a super speedway race. So a true wild card of wild cards that we don't know how it's going to play out. Tonight kind of turned into a wild card at the end there, and congratulations to the Walker family. Jordan Walker has now joined his brother Trevor Walker on both of them getting a win this season. And both brothers will be locked in, just as well as the 2 Kourting brothers, who are going to be locked into the overall chase at the end of the season. So that rounds up our event for tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Glad that you could tune in. And tomorrow, actually, correction, it is not tomorrow night, as I will be busy tomorrow night. So I know I had it posted on Discord. Just keep an eye out on the Discord to see when the next truck race comes on. It is not going to be tomorrow night on a Wednesday. It's probably going to be Thursday or Friday, depending on when I get around to it. So, thanks again, everyone. Hope you all have a good night. Stay safe out there. And this is Jakester signing out.